And that's probably by virtue of the fact that the lunch was so good and people are enjoying the networking, obviously. I'm going to introduce the next speaker, who's actually going to give some opening remarks. His name is Brian Mass, and he's a member of Parliament for Windsor West here in Canada. He's been an elected representative for 13 years, and currently he serves as the NDP critic and is a member of House of Commons Standing Committee. He's also the Vice Chair of US-Canada Parliamentary Groups and a member of the Joint House of Commons Senate Regulatory Commission. Mr. Honourable Mass.
Good, thanks. Good. Good afternoon. It's great to be here. I'm going to read from a prepared speech. I don't usually do that, but to get here into Toronto this morning, Windsor was fogged in, and so I won't say the time that we left Windsor via the car, but we arrived here on time, which probably changes some of the laws in terms of the country in terms of transportation, which I don't want to get into too much detail, but I'm pleased to be here, and I want to thank the organizers for inviting me with a few minutes of remarks today. I welcome all those who have traveled from other parts of Ontario and Canada and also across the world to participate in this conference. I'm honored to be here addressing this group of banking, legal, and academic professionals here in Canada's financial capital. I'm glad that this conference is taking place here in this country, as it is a time of opportunity. As we have experienced the economic difficulties that have resulted from the financial credit markets crisis over the past few years, it now appears that we might be on the road for a mild beginning of a recovery. It is now the time to examine and explore the opportunities that have arisen while evaluating the strengths and advantages Canada has obtained from the decades of immigration, the diversification of our society, and the stability of a regulatory environment which has resulted into international recognition of Canada's banking system. This unique combination of tools and achievements are a result of government policy over many years. It has also positioned Canada into a singular situation to diversify our economic and trading relationships to the growth centers of today and tomorrow. This includes Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, where most of the economic growth in the next 50 years will take place. But this also is a source of the vast majority of new Canadians for Canada. Tying this with the most stable and fundamentally sound banking and financial systems in the world, along with the political and business culture of transparency and accountability, and we have the critical moment to transform our financial service sector into a world leader we could not have imagined or predicted just a few years ago. The difficulties in the traditional financial centers, their regulatory systems seeming inadequate, their institutions more fragile, their risk of being more opaque and unknown, and Canada's financial system being viewed as an island of stability and safety during this crisis provide a competitive advantage that is unprecedented. With the majority of significant wealth and capital formation taking place in Asia and the Middle East, the opportunities for growth in Canada's financial industry to cater and serve these new investors and clients could transform this city into one of the leading financial capitals of the world. This would create tens of thousands of highly skilled and high-paying jobs in this city and evolve our institutions into world leaders. But for this to happen, the financial products and services we hear have to be innovative and diverse. And this is what this conference is trying to be part of. I have witnessed the changes that are taking place in my own riding of Windsor West. As some of you may know, Windsor is one of the most diverse communities in Canada, fourth after Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. Leading immigration is from China, India, Pakistan, and the Middle East. But next door across the border in southeastern Michigan is the largest Arab community outside the Middle East, totaling 250,000 people. And what has happened always happened in Windsor and will continue as Detroit has continued to be part of the Windsor-Detroit cultural development. Cross-border relations amongst all these communities has strengthened and deepened as relations along the border always have. Just as trade between the United States and Canada exploded after NAFTA, trade by the tool and die and mold sector and the core of our manufacturing base, not only in the region but for the whole country, has grown dramatically with countries which are a source of many new Canadians. Additionally, not only have areas of the city been revitalized by newcomers' entrepreneurial endeavors, transforming tired and underutilized assets into engines for future economic growth is taking place. I am thinking now of a company that used to be 100% automotive more than a decade ago, but decided to diversify what it manufactured for the rest of the world and moved it to operations back to the oldest industrial area of the city of Windsor as part of their transformation. Today, their revenues are less than 5% automotive. They're coming to grips with the change with investment in drilling, extraction tools, mining equipment, construction machinery, wind and solar projects, and advanced lighting systems, to name a few. All these products are exported to over 40 countries across the globe. They have seen such success that they have attracted workers back from not only the energy sector, but all parts of the world back home to Windsor. And there are numerous others I could speak about, but what they have all echoed into me in many meetings at the House of Commons Industry Committee and also the House of Commons Finance Committee, and the testimony that we've heard and the budget consultations that we've had, is the increasing difficulty in obtaining the working and investment capital that is essential for the manufacturing business. Capital-intensive businesses used to be the regular gold-plated, stable operations that provided their regular plain returns that built banks into the profit centers that they became. But over the past few decades, as we have witnessed over the last few years, banks have changed their focus from lending capital to companies to build things and have preferred to finance the takeovers of firms instead. This has led to the increasing difficulty of these manufacturing businesses have faced in obtaining the needed capital to maintain our technological advantages. And they shared the risk in the past. The essential partnership between lender and manufacturer seems to have been broken. This is why the alternative models of finance represented in this conference and the essential mechanisms to restore the shared risk partnership needed to be for the long-term commitments and investments to maintain the innovation necessary for our manufacturing leadership. I was pleased to learn that part of the credit union group here in Ontario supplied around $120 million to the Islamic Finance group to provide hundreds of Islamic mortgages. As a member of a political party which is a strong supporter and intimately involved with the credit union movement, which is unique in that the clients of the financial institution own the organization and participate in the decision-making, this is a model of shared risk partnership that has been going on in Canada for decades. In fact, the credit unions have provided faith-based financial services for many years, with the Manitoba credit unions providing Mennonite community and specific products for a long, long time. There needs to be more of this. For Canada to continue to grow and prosper, we must use the diversity we have, the connections to the rest of the world that no other country has developed to use what in Canada the context might be novel concepts, but the models that have been facilitated capital flows and functions for centuries. These supposedly new innovations in this country can be deployed not only to provide investment essential for our industrial base, but to restore the balance between the banking and manufacturing sectors, the shared risk model and partnership that will reestablish stability to those partners of the economy which have seemed to have been lost in it. In the process, to transform our financial industry into a world leader by managing and reallocating the vast new wealth being created in other parts of the globe, these are part of the innovations our country needs to remain in a competitive leader for decades to come. I want to conclude by saying that it is now time to engage governments and political parties of all stripes to push this issue forward, because we have unique opportunities in a multicultural country like Canada, not only just Windsor West, where I represent, but across this country, that are unique, they're special, and I think are the essence of future development and evolution that could be successful for our competition. But we need to do things differently, and I hope you'll be part of that. Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words here today, and congratulations on your conference, and I wish you back over the next couple of days.